Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today to witness the perseverance of justice in the face of evil. Life is undoubtedly the most sacred value known to man. Therefore, the unjustified taking of life, or rather the disregard for innocent life, is the most corrupt violation of natural law. Today this evil comes in the form of Ms.Fischer, a man whose callous and brutal murder of an innocent Arab Bedouin is evidence of his disregard for innocent life. Ladies and gentlemen, today through the testimonies of Thomas Perez, Raymond, Mason, Salamano, Marie, Celeste, and both the director and caretaker of an old age home where Marcel's mother was staying, you will hear testimony that shows Marcel is a hardened soul, one showing no sympathy towards the death of an innocent soul, and none towards the passing of his own mother. This is a man who put his own mother in an old age home and almost never visited her. In fact, the last time he visited was 3 years ago. Let me repeat that, 3 whole years without seeing his mother. Then, after she unfortunately passed away, while Marcel attended the funeral vigil, he showed no feelings of remorse or sorrow. Marcel is a man who didn't find the need to pay respect to his mother. This is a man who one day after his mother's funeral was out on the beach chasing after women. To further demonstrate Marcel's lack of emotion, when a relationship did develop with said woman, Marcel, when proposed with marriage, said that he didn't care. Then when he was asked if he loved her, he said it didn't mean anything to him and that he probably didn't love her. Does this sound like a normal, rational thinking man? Your Honor, I put this to you. Does the man I just described seem like a man who could commit a murder in self-defense? Does the man who fired a shot at a defenseless Arab on the ground, then walk over him and fire 4 more shots, seem like a man who was defending himself? Thank you, Your Honor.
Ready? Go. Yeah. There's no denying that this man's guilty. His confession proves he shot the man 5 times. But why would an otherwise stern, law-abiding citizen exhibit such a mental break? Just suddenly perform this act of violence? This man had just tragically lost his mother just days before, and didn't properly grieve. He had only 2 days to begin processing it before getting back to work. Surely you can see that that is not enough time to go through the 5 stages of grief, leaving the defendant in an altered mental state. Combined with possible heat stroke and a previous altercation with the deceased, the defendant snapped when he saw the previously aggressive man who had just drawn and used a knife on his friend just moments before, and acted out before he had the chance to attack him as well. The prosecution is going to try and convince you of what a bad man the defendant is, and how violent he was, but I ask you to listen to what his friends, the people who know him best, have to say. You will see that he is an honest, good, contributing member of society, who acted out in an isolated incident caused by fear, sickness, and the immense stress and displacement of the recent loss of his mother. The defendant has a fiancée that loved him, keeps a home on Main Street, and held a steady job. He was even offered a promotion to the Parisian offices of his work just days before this tragic event and a year he spent in jail. He has sacrificed all of this during this year. He has given this all up. Enough is enough. This man has paid his debt. Giving him any more time in jail would be preposterous and an insult to all contributing members of society in Algiers and all over the world. So is my closing? Okay. You may have heard the prosecution twist many things today. They tried to tell you the defendant is a horrible man for crying at his mother's funeral. But who are they to judge? Everyone processes and grieves in their own ways. Who are they to say the defendant wasn't emotionally tortured because he didn't cry in public? Last time I checked, the prosecution wasn't God. As we have shown you today, the defendant is a good guy. He has a career, a fiancée who is deeply in love with him, and is an honest man. He has no previous criminal record, and is a contributing member of society. So as you can see, this was an isolated event brought on by the tragic and unprocessed loss of his mother, possible heat stroke he was under, and previous vicious acts of violence by the deceased. You're probably asking, why are they bringing up his heat stroke? Well, the common side effects of heat stroke are hallucinations and paranoia. If you add that to the fact that the deceased had just viciously torn through the defendant's friend's face and arm, then of course he acted out the way he did, fearing he was in a dangerous situation, which he was. Think about it. You too would have acted the same way. The defendant has never acted out like this and has never been in such a sickening and fearful situation, showing you this is solely an isolated event. Now, the defendant has been in jail for a year with ample time to reflect and pay retribution for his sins, as well as pay whatever debt he had to society. Your Honor, and members of the jury, I ask you to take this all in. A good man, caught in a dangerous situation, acted out. He's paid his debt. Now let him get back to being the contributing member of society he always has been.
How do you know him? What's your relationship with Marcel?
I only met him once in his junior role, but I've known his mother for a very long time. We were close. I was close to his mother.
How did he act during his mother's funeral?
At the time, I was too sad to notice everything because his mother was really important to me. But I did not see him cry while
Was she a happy mother?
Yeah, she made many friends at the moment.
Okay. I really see. Okay. What is your relationship with Marcel?
Marcel's my neighbor for many years. She lives right across the floor from me.
Do you think he's guilty? If you think?
Absolutely not.
No?
He's a very kind and helpful man.
Okay. So there's no reason for him to be guilty?
I don't think so. At least from the times I've seen him, he's not very violent like me.
Okay.